Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. Well, we have a busy docket, so let's get right to it. First, Sherri Papini. Well, she's on the run again, this time as she's leaving the federal courthouse. Prince Andrew's case is officially dismissed. A judge in the Alex Murdaugh civil case in United States District Court. Is she conflicted or not? Get to it. Chris Brown, the musician, he's had some issues, run-ins with the law. Well, he is fighting back really hard against sex assault allegations. And guess what? It looks like he's got the proof to show nothing inappropriate happened. Next, another reason why you need to be cautious of dating apps. An attorney, well, he just went crazy. Tell me if this killing is worthy of a death sentence. And then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. It is Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. Before we get to the docket, very quickly, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell over there in the corner so that you receive notifications when we go live or put up new content. And for those who didn't join us last night, you can watch last night's live show right here. It was great. And then we had our Patreon show as well. Thank all our Patreons out there. Now, remember, if you can't watch us, you can listen to us anytime you want, not only this episode, but any past episode over the years on any of your favorite podcasting apps. Just simply type in Crime Talk with Scott Reich. All right, let's get to the docket today. First, Sherri Papini. Well, she's on the run again. That's right. Take a look at this. Photographed clutching a plastic bag and paperwork as she frantically dashed to her car following her release on bail, stemming from the charge that she faked her abduction going back to 2016. Now, the Sacramento Superior Court Judge Jeremy Peterson set the California mom's bond at $120,000 and forbid her from contacting witnesses connected to the case. Well, those witnesses are the ex-boyfriend that she wasn't having sex with when she was with him for 2 weeks. Okay? If you watched last night's show, you know what we're talking about. Anyway, the judge noted Papini had no criminal history, no violent offenses, but said that he had grounds for concern due to her lengthy pattern of dishonesty. Now, Papini was ordered to turn over her passport and was told that she cannot travel outside the Eastern District of California. Now, Papini must also seek psychiatric treatment and must stay away from firearms, drugs, and alcohol under the terms of her release. Somewhat unusual, the things that most people turn to in times of stress they can't use when they're under pretrial supervision, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, Papini broke down in tears as she opened the door to the courthouse and seemed to almost collapse as she saw the crowd of press that had gathered for her case. She doubled over and gripped a family member around the waist to stay on her feet as they hurried her down the sidewalk. A man stepped in front of a press photographer trying to block any shots from the, I guess you could say, disgraced mom as she hurried to her car. Now, Papini went missing on November 2nd, 2016, and turned up on Thanksgiving Day of the same year and had been taped and bound and had a swollen nose and a brand on her right shoulder. She told authorities that 2 Hispanic women had obviously kidnapped her at gunpoint and chopped off her beautiful blonde hair. Prosecutors charged that she really was at her boyfriend's house 100 miles away. She continued to lie to the FBI and the Shasta County Sheriff's Department when she was interviewed about the case. Now, prosecutors say that she cashed in on her lie, basically taking $30,000 from the California Victims Compensation Board. And when Papini was arrested, U.S. Attorney Veronica Allegra told the court that the FBI conducted a ruse to get Papini out of the building where her kids were having a piano lesson. Papini was told her vehicle was involved in an accident, and when she came outside, the feds grabbed her. They said she attempted to flee but didn't get very far and admitted that her kids did see her get arrested. Now, Allegra said that during the arrest, Papini screamed no and attempted to run away. They also say she threw her cell phone 20 feet as she was being arrested. As the case unfolds publicly, Papini's family is processing their feelings about the latest development. A family member stated, apparently, "I was there for her and I would have given her the shirt off my back, and now I understand that everything was just a joke. I feel betrayed." Now, the family member added that Papini has 2 beautiful, sweet children and that Papini needs help. Mental help, that is, according to the family member. And her next court date is now set for March 25th. Just goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen, the truth always comes out. Obviously, we'll give her the presumption of innocence, but it looks like her ex-boyfriend threw her under the bus. Not looking good for her. Hey, Prince Andrew. You know who's having a better day today? Prince Andrew. Why? Well, the judge here in the United States has officially dismissed the sexual abuse lawsuit against him. 3 weeks after lawyers for Virginia Roberts reached a deal calling for the prince to make a substantial donation to his accuser's charity and make a statement about her character, the United States District Court Judge Lewis Kaplan signed court papers dismissing the August lawsuit after lawyers on both sides asked him to do so earlier in the day. The judge had given them until March 17th to complete the deal, or he was going to set the case for trial. Now, the lawsuit cannot be refiled. It was dismissed with prejudice. And in a letter to the judge last month from Roberts' attorney, David Boyce, a statement was included that said, in part, Prince Andrew intends to make a substantial donation to Miss Roberts' charity in support of victims' rights. Prince Andrew has never intended to malign Miss Roberts' character, and he accepts that she has suffered both as an established victim of abuse and as a result of unfair public attacks. Now, according to the statement, Prince Andrew acknowledged that the man named Jeff trafficked countless young girls over many years and said the prince regrets his association with that guy named Jeff, and comments the bravery of Miss Roberts and other survivors in standing up for themselves and others. Lawyers for the prince declined to comment, which is probably a good thing. The case is over. Let it go. And don't forget to make that substantial donation. Prince Andrew, really large donation. I wonder if that's tax deductible in England if it's a donation. I don't know. And is his mom paying that bill? I think she is too. All right, Alex Murdaugh. This case just gets more bizarre. I know some people are really interested in this case. Other people are not. I know down there in South Carolina, it is the talk of the town, so to speak. Well, there was an order issued today regarding Alex Murdaugh's civil matter. Judge Michelle Childs wrote that the court became aware of allegations of impropriety made by non-judicial, non-legal sources. I think that's code for the news. Well, the news raised issues regarding her connections to NP Strategy, the public relations company hired by Murdaugh to help his image after his wife and son were murdered. Also, the public relations company is owned by Nexon Pruitt, a law firm which Judge Childs used to work. Now, in her order today, Childs acknowledged that she used to work for Nexon Pruitt Jacobs and Pollard, LLP, from 1991 to 2000. But that's not the only conflict of interest that she addressed. Moreover, she notes a current law clerk was employed in the office of plaintiff's counsel, Richard Harputulian, PA, before starting her judicial clerkship. The lawsuit filed by Dick Harputulian and Jim Griffin on February 28th seeks to stop the director of the Richard County Detention Center from releasing recordings of Murdaugh's jail calls. Now, Childs is the fourth judge assigned to this case so far. Why, you may say? Well, before Childs was appointed, according to several people, Judge David Norton of Charleston, he was assigned to the case, but that was before Childs. Norton replaced Judge Mary Geiger Lewis, who was assigned to the case last Wednesday, and Lewis replaced Judge Brown Howe Hendricks of Greenville. No explanation was apparently given for these reassignments, but a likely reason was because the judges must remain impartial on the cases that come before them, and they understand and appreciate that the appearance of impropriety is just as important as an actual conflict. So the judge didn't make any ruling as to whether she was going to recuse herself, but I think under an appearance of impropriety issue, it may behoove her to do so. All right, Chris Brown. Remember this guy? Take a look at him. He's had some issues. He's had some hits. He's allegedly had some other hits against other superstars, but he's better now. Okay? So rapper Chris Brown is firing back at a woman who accused him of sexual assault and has now sued him, claiming she wants $20 million. Now, Mr. Brown insists that he has voicemails and texts that his accuser sent after their encounter, proving that it was all consensual. And the woman's lawyer is dropping her. Now, the text began after the anonymous accuser and Brown apparently hooked up on a yacht in Miami in December of 2020. Their relationship reportedly lasted for several months. And in the text, Chris Brown tells the woman she would take the Plan B morning pill, and she responds saying she wants to hook up with him again tonight. She sends him some other texts months later that you were honestly the best thing that she's ever had, and included a naked selfie of herself. There's also a voicemail which Chris Brown posted on his Instagram, and it says, "I just want to see you again. Let me know if you want me to leave you alone. I will." Now, Chris Brown also wrote on his Instagram, "No more dragging me through the mud." Clearly, you can all see the crap that this person is lying. Chris Brown says he's planning to sue the accuser because you don't play with people's lives like that. The accuser's attorney, Ariel Mitchell, confirmed that her now former client sent Mr. Chris Brown the texts and voicemails, and she said that she was withdrawing from the case because she says the woman had not informed her of those messages. The case is still under investigation, and the Miami Police Department has said they have been made aware of the messages between Chris Brown and his accusers. Now, let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about this before, okay? If you're going to get yourself an attorney, you tell them the truth, okay? Guess what? Like I've said it before, if you're going to tell your attorney, you have to tell your attorney everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because if the attorney goes into court and they get their trousers pulled down around their ankles, they're going to look really silly. They may even get sanctioned for not independently investigating the case enough. But guess what? You, like the woman accusing Chris Brown, she's probably going to get sued and have her entire life ruined. She's not going to be able to find an attorney who's going to take this case. All for what? She didn't get a call back from Chris Brown? Like, are you serious? But you don't go around making false allegations, because that severely diminishes the real victims out there when people make false allegations. And I get it. People say, oh, you always have to believe the victims. But when you got proof that it was a consensual relationship and basically this is a shakedown because somebody didn't get a phone call back, that's just wrong. Wrong. All right. If you ever needed a reason to go to crimetalksearch.com to say, hey, I need to justify this, okay, this is the story that will do it. And I'm telling you, go to crimetalksearch.com. If you are using a dating app and not going to crimetalksearch.com, you are committing dating malpractice. Sure, you can Google somebody. It's not going to give you the information. But when you get a background search through crimetalksearch.com, you are going to be able to get a criminal history of somebody. You're going to find out what their marriage records are, their property records. Are they a registered sex offender? Do they have a criminal history at all? Things that aren't going to show up on a quick Google search, okay? There's a lot of information out there these days where people basically sweet talkers, but you got to see what's on the paper. We've had so many people over the years say, Scott, I wouldn't believe it. I was dating somebody, found out that they had been charged with doing inappropriate things with children. Thank God they went to crimetalksearch.com and found out before they let them in close proximity with their children. So take a listen to this. A Massachusetts woman who was studying in the Netherlands was fatally stabbed by a stalker she met on Tinder, who grew jealous and tracked her by bike when she reconciled with her ex-boyfriend. Now, Micah Ort, 21, of Winchester, was allegedly attacked by the suspect named only as Thomas R. He's apparently 27. Ort had recently moved into an apartment 90 minutes away from Amsterdam after her breakup with her boyfriend of 2 years, Michael Vanderwall. Ort is then said to have briefly dated Thomas R. after meeting on Tinder. Thomas reportedly started getting violent and began stalking Ort after she got back together with her ex. Thomas allegedly set off a bomb that started a fire in her apartment before going up and fatally stabbing her. This guy needs help. Police were notified of the woman's distress after receiving a call around 3:30 a.m. on Sunday about a fire in her apartment. The fire was quickly extinguished and they found Ort's body. 2 other men who lived in the building, 25 and 30 years old, are also reported to have serious injuries. Friends and family of the young woman said that when she told Thomas she did not want to date him anymore, that Thomas could not stomach this and out of jealousy killed her. Now, Michael found out about her death on Twitter and just could not believe it. Her family is devastated by the news, saying Ort was the sweetest, strongest woman they knew, and that she still had a lot of love to give in this life. Now, Thomas, who is in his parents' home above the optics shop in Leek, fled the country and was eventually arrested near Leer, Germany on Sunday. He was turned over to his parents, who alerted local police after he contacted them while fleeing. He's being held in Germany until he can be transported back to the Netherlands, where he will be interrogated and probably given like in-home detention or something, because they don't really send people to prison there. So anyway, all right. Hey, you know what? Sometimes everybody has a bad day, but this attorney, he had a really bad day, and now he's going to prison for it. A former county attorney in Pennsylvania is accused of planning to kill several Democrat members of the United States Senate after having an argument about the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Now, Kennel Shrink, 72, has reached a deal with prosecutors where Shrink, the former Lancaster County attorney, pled guilty to 1 count of threatening to murder U.S. officials. Now, according to the Justice Department, officers with the Pennsylvania State Police on January 21st of 2021 intercepted Shirk's vehicle as he was en route to the nation's capital. Police were tipped off by Shirk's then wife, who reported that she and Shrink had argued about the results of the 2020 presidential election and the January 6th siege. She reportedly told police that after the argument, Shirk threatened to kill her and then revealed that he was planning to kill several Democratic senators in Washington, D.C. Now, Shirk's wife also reportedly told authorities, her husband, that if he was met with resistance from police, he planned to go out via suicide by police officer, suicide by cop. Police searched his car and found multiple firearms, including a rifle and several handguns, and a large amount of ammunition. Police took Shrink into custody and charged him with making terroristic threats. Shrink had to take a mental health evaluation, and the nurse reported Shrink saying his plan was to stop in Virginia on his way to D.C. and visit his son and granddaughter. He would then get up early enough to beat the traffic so he could get to the home of the senators before they left for work. The evaluating nurse reported that Shrink spoke in a monotone, deadpan voice and sounded serious when he spoke of killing his wife and members of the government. Now, Shrink remained in detention at the county prison since his initial arrest. The disciplinary board of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court last May disbarred Shrink from the practice of law following his arrest. The plea was entered before United States District Court Judge Jennifer P. Wilson in the Middle District of Pennsylvania. Hey, I've been there. I did a case there. Shrink is facing a maximum penalty of 10 years in federal prison and up to 3 years of probation following his release. Okay, that's an example of what not to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like the results of an election, guess what? You have to win the next election. You do not go and plan on harming other people. That is wrong. That's against the law. Bad choice. Bad choice, Mr. Shirk. Bad choice. Don't do that. Okay, death penalty. We talk about this. Some people have differing opinions. Well, in Alabama, they think this case is worthy of the death penalty. Let me know what you think. An Alabama man faces the possibility of a death penalty after prosecutors say he shot and killed his wife and her unborn son following a dispute over a broken video game console. Prosecutors said that they're going to seek the death penalty against Hunter Tatum. The Ottawa County District Attorney's Office confirmed on Tuesday. Now, Tatum, 25, was indicted by a grand jury on capital murder and 2 counts of intentional murder on March 4th, regarding his wife, Summer Tatum's killing last year. Hunter Tatum dialed 911 shortly after midnight on October 18th, 2021, and allegedly told the operator that he had opened fire on his pregnant wife. When the officers arrived, they say he openly confessed to shooting his spouse and unborn child with the handgun. Summer Tatum, who was still alive when the police responded, was found moaning in a pool of blood in the master bedroom. Now, the Alabama woman was 6 months pregnant and suffered from cerebral palsy, and she was transported to a nearby hospital and placed on life support, where she later died. The couple's unborn son, who they were going to name Everett, also did not survive. Now, the chief assistant district attorney for the 19th Judicial District there in Alabama made a statement that if the death penalty is going to exist, if it is going to be an option in cases, then this is the kind of case it needs to be an option for. Officials say that Mr. Tatum was having an affair with someone in another county through a gaming console, and when Summer Tatum found out, she destroyed the gaming console, which led to what turned out to be a deadly argument. The murder was reportedly caught on the home surveillance camera. Of course it was. Investigators say Summer Tatum was begging her husband moments before the shooting, saying, quote, "I'll do anything you want. Don't hurt me, please. Don't hurt our baby." Now, Robinson said the footage is clear that she was begging for her life, and it is very impactful. Mr. Tatum's arraignment is scheduled for April 18th. He's being held without bond at the Ottawa County Detention Facility. Please let me know whether you think that case rises to the level of receiving the ultimate punishment. Well, here's somebody that's going to get punished, but they're just dumb. That's right, our dumb criminal of the day. Police arrested a Florida man wearing a Boy Scout uniform on a drunk driving charge. John Burke was behind the wheel of his Kia Soul, surrounded by numerous alcoholic beverages. Now, Burke is reportedly an executive with the Central Florida Council of the Boy Scouts of America. Burke told the police he was having marital issues and wanted to take a drive. Burke failed the sobriety test and the breath test and revealed that he was 3 times over the legal limit to drive. Burke was arrested on DUI and open container charges and is locked up in lieu of a $1,000 bond. Now, Mr. Burke, it's not that you were driving around in your Boy Scout uniform. I mean, let's face it, who hasn't done that, right? The good thing is at least you didn't have some young children in the car with you. But to have the empty bottles in the front seat, really, Mr. Burke? That's pretty dumb. And admitting that you were taking a drive while drinking, even dumber. Don't drink and drive. It's not illegal to drink. It's only illegal to drive while you're drunk. Remember that. You may have a driving problem because you can drink. Just don't drink and drive. All right, Mr. Burke, you're a dumb criminal of the day. Congratulations. Sounds like you've earned it. Hope you work through those marital problems, which I'm sure have only been exacerbated by your little driving escapade in your Boy Scout uniform. All right. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.